For the first time in Canada, doctors performed surgery on a fetus with spina bifida. Doctors from Mount Sinai Hospital and the Hospital for Sick Children did the procedure in Toronto. Surgeries like this could lead the way for more options for parents who receive this diagnosis during pregnancy. Arthi Pohl is on the story. So, Arthi, what did the family say about the surgery?
You know, Andrew, it's really remarkable what has been accomplished here. And we did get a chance to hear from the mother who had this surgery performed on her while she was pregnant, on the fetus, who had been diagnosed at about 20 weeks with a form of spina bifida. And what we heard from the family, and you can see them there, the mother said that as it is right now, and her daughter is about 3 months old and seems to be developing normally and is a happy young baby girl. And we did hear, though, from her that it wasn't even a question in her mind on whether or not she would go through with this procedure, although it hadn't been performed in Canada yet, because she recognized how much it would greatly improve the quality of life for her daughter, who again had been diagnosed with this form of spina bifida. And we heard from the physician who was speaking ahead of the mother that in fact up to 30% of children who have spina bifida don't survive into adulthood, and about a third of adults need lifelong daily support. So let's quickly take a listen to Romelia's son as she describes that moment when she discovered this diagnosis.
Our doctor told us that this meant our beautiful baby girl would be expected to have brain damage, probably be in a wheelchair for life, and diapers as well, that she'd be incontinent. We were devastated. Throughout this entire process, that day was the most difficult day of the whole thing.
Now, what she says is that following that diagnosis being delivered to her, she went back home, she started doing research online and recognized that there was an in-utero surgery for this particular diagnosis that was being done in the United States. It would be covered by Ontario's provincial healthcare system. And so she went back to the doctors here in Toronto and said that this was her intention, to take her fetus, to take herself over to the United States to undergo this procedure. And the doctors responded that they would try it here, and she felt confident in doing some research that they could perform that, and they did successfully now perform that surgery. And again, it was done at about 25 weeks, and then at 36 weeks in August, she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Andrew.
Yeah, it is really quite amazing. And tell us more of the details of how this surgery was performed.
It's quite complicated, and this is really the remarkable aspect to it when you think about what it is exactly that the physicians did. And so what we're hearing is that it was at about 25 weeks that the mother was given an anesthetic, a general anesthetic, in order to then insert a needle into the abdomen and then to also anesthetize the fetus so that this procedure could be carried out. So then incisions were made into the uterus to reach the fetus, and that way they could close the skin over the spinal defect to repair this particular form of spina bifida. And then the surgeons also had to be extremely careful in reclosing the uterus tightly so that no amniotic fluid would leak out during the remainder of the pregnancy. It was all done successfully, and again, a remarkable outcome here. And we should also make mention that the physicians do say that this doesn't necessarily remove all effects of spina bifida among children, but it significantly improves their outcomes. Andrew.
All right, Arthi, thank you.
You're welcome.